How good is Magic Find on Legion and Breach if you are just pushing it to the limit? Hey, I'm Cyclon, and that was what I was ending as calling it a big potential on my previous video to Legion Breach, and I took it on myself to figure out how good it actually is, if it is that big of a potential, or if I was talking just random crap that wasn't actually true. As far as we know, Breach is affected by quantity now, so the more quantity you have, the more quantity on map, the more breach stones you're going to get, the more bleed or gut splinters you're going to get, resulting in more breach stones. And we also know that conversion of drops is still in the game. So for example, a rare can have the hidden modifier to only drop scarabs. So normal items are converted to rusted, magic items to polished, rare items to gilded, and unique items to ringed scarabs. That's at least as far as I know. And of course it can also happen to currency, it can also happen to fractured items, it can happen to jewelry, it can happen to corrupt items, or it can happen to uniques, so everything gets converted to uniques. And the rarer the item, so the more uniques it would have been before, the more high value uniques it is after, or the more rares. I don't know the exact logic behind it, we just know that unique or item conversion is still a thing, it's just not shown on the enemy, so it happens at random times. But Legion containing many rares should give us this fairly often. So with that concept, I adjusted my trees to be more quantity based, using Eater of Worlds. I adjusted my gear to be magic finding gear, getting, I think it was 60 quantity without flask. Also I had flask up all the time in 97, so with flask, let me quickly activate that. I need a life tab or something. Life tab, where is it? Oh, there it is. So we're quickly going to lower our life for a moment. There we go. I was even using item rarity support. And then we were using our flask and looking at 73 quantity and 194 rarity, up 99% of the time, and that one low percent we didn't have the divination distillate up. And yeah, with this we have run, or I have run, 96 maps. The first half of the 96 I run without Wandering Pass, and the second I run with. And as already said, the results have been very interesting, and I think it is definitely worth sharing. However, I also think that I can't comfortably recommend it on my spreadsheet, so I'm going to be sharing the tree and the information not over my spreadsheet, but with a link to the I think it's better max roll tree that just has everything in one place, that I'm gonna try out for this and gonna see how it goes. But alright, let's take a look at what we've run before we're going to take a look at the results. I have two trees that's going to be in the description, combined with, of course, all the information on them. And everything except the tree is the same on both, so we're going to go over that first. We're going to use a Gilded Legion Scarab and Gilded Breach Scarab. We're going to get a Legion Sextant, a Legion Duplicate Sextant, a Breach Sextant, and a Chayula Sextant. And then we're going to get Gilded Divination Scarab and Gilded Reliquary Scarab to juice it a bit higher. Now that is that setup, and of course we're going to use cemeteries, we're going to use the Eater of Worlds altar, and we're going to use one arcade to have that and sell the adjacent map once we have enough. And the tree is basically just trying to fit in all Legion and trying to fit in all Breach. It does require a whole Atlas unlocked, 132 points. We have still our singular focus, so we have our sustain on our maps. And then we have the quantity wheel. We can't sadly take these 3 quantity nodes, as we are just that staffed on passive point or on Atlas passive points, but otherwise we have just a basic Legion and Breach setup. Now on Rendering Pass it changes slightly. We're going to have enough points now to take all the small nodes. We're taking all the small nodes that we care about. Because we are already guaranteeing Chayula, we don't need these nodes. We still don't need Face Off because of Gilded Legion Scarab. and we still just want Maracas and Templar Legions. So we're going to end up with a few spare nodes we can put into mod modifier effects, we can put into additional shrines, so we have a shrine per map that lasts for a good while. If it's a movement speed shrine, that feels really amazing. But yeah, that's just the tree. Out of these two trees, if you are just looking for having a Legion but having Breach and having a big magic find on top, this one is going to keep all the quality on Legion, all the Warhordes, all the Surgeons, all the additional loot. While this one, because we can't take the notables, it's dropping it. This one is the better one. This is going to be Legion and Breach, but we're adding a bit of extra time to our map. We're adding a bit of extra quantity to our map to get a bit of more lucky drops. While this one is going heavy into the lucky drops, and we are looking to get the most out of them, the most Brothers Gifts, the most Raw Divine drops, the most lucky unique drops, and just focusing on that over getting the quality stable drops. This is really just a choice you need to make. You want to be stable with a bit of magic finding, or you want to be all in on the find and then have just a stable base to pay off the cost of the strategy. So, which finally gets us to the results. The results have been interesting. We got a lot of uniques, a lot of interesting uniques. We even got some blood notches with low average rolls. We got a few fractured items. We got 2 reliquaries, Voidborn reliquaries I opened live on stream. But nothing out of the top of the uniques. I think the most valuable one is the Skin of the Loyal that has a very specific color combination that seems to be worth something. But I actually haven't sold it, so I don't know if it's actually worth a lot or just priced a lot. And we've gotten not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, 6 Brothers Gifts and 2 Brothers Stashes, being a ridiculous amount. Actually, 1 got even duped, and 1 was... No wait, that was the other one. So we had 1 duped, and we had a very lucky distribution. Normally it's more like a 4-3 or 3-4, like a roughly 50-50. And we've gotten a 5-2 split on top of a duped one. So making this 30 divines just in Brothers Gifts. And then we get to the difference in consistent drops. So we already have a good amount of lucky drops in our maps. That definitely was noticeable, that definitely was there. But now we get to the consistent part, and here are some big differences. We've gotten a lot less Awakened Sextants and a lot less stacked decks. This is mainly the Sextants because we weren't using Searing Exarch Altars, we were using Eater of Rolls. And the stacked decks have been a noticeable drop because once we got to the One Ring Pass version, we haven't really gotten many incubators, we haven't really gotten many Legion rewards, so we saw a big drop in stacked decks. As comparison though, we saw a big increase in Chaos Orbs dropped. Comparing this to, we had 865 stacked decks, and now we had 529, and we had 657 Chaos Drops, and now we have 903. 10 of that, or 15 of that being Chaotic Disposition, which is a 5 Chaos Orb Divination card we sometimes get randomly dropped from Eater of World Altars. We have gotten basically a swap in that. We've gotten a lot more Chaos, but less stacked decks, and I think that balances each other out. And the Sextants technically got balanced out because we got a lot of Skirrings. However, as I used a lot of Skirrings, I kept the Skirrings. And now we get to the Divine Orbs. And the Divine Orbs, well, there's not really a difference. We've gotten 9 with our previous iteration. However, on average in 96 Legion maps, usually I expect 10 Divines. At least as far as I've noticed. And the reason why we haven't really gotten more Divines, even though we run a lot more quantity, is that we've not gotten as many incubators, and we have not gotten Divines from incubators. Maybe we've gotten 1 or 2 early from incubators, but otherwise all the Divines have been for drops that just dropped in the map. And I think this just makes a big difference that I said between the two trees. On One Ring Pass we are more looking for the lucky big drops, And on the other version, or non-Magic Find version, we have our incubators, our Legion loot, our stacked decks, to just have that stable income, that almost deterministic income. And that brings us to the Scarabs and the 5 Waves and Breach Stones. As far as 5 Waves goes, we've actually seen not that much of a difference. I've gotten 60 Templars and 50 Maracas, and already moved them, so we have 50 each. We had a few less Eternal Empires, but a lot more Karui, Wall, and Templar. The difference here in these three have really just been a bit of luck, but this year being not that much different from consistent farming is definitely interesting. And the main reason for that is on Rendering Path, we making Maracas and Templar more likely to appear, while only dropping a 2% chance in the emblematic basically, because we have a 6 here, and the other one we have 2 4s which get doubled to 8, so we have, instead of a 1%, we have a 0.8 chance to get the emblem dropped instead of a splinter stack. So I'd say definitely there isn't much of a difference here, which is good, because this means we still have a stable base loot. And then we have 82 instead of 80 Breach Stones. Now here, I have to say that because I have run a very squishy Magic Find, I've run this solo, and I think I wasn't able to sometimes clear the breach perfectly, and sometimes I think I had one map that completely bricked, but I didn't looted half of it, and sometimes I lagged, and there are just some circumstances that got me in getting less breaches overall, or less breach splinters, less breach stones overall. But I'd say that the Rendering Path version definitely was a noticeable increase in the amount of breach stones I've got overall, or the breach splinters I've got dropped that turned into the breach stones. On the non-Rendering Path version, I didn't notice that much of an increase. I think it was slightly better, but the Rendering Path, once we've had a good few altar spawns, we got a lot more breach splinters returning into the breach stones. And we even got 1 lucky scarab drops, and 1 time get a Gilded Harbinger scarabs from a Eater of World altar, and just got a lot of them. But yeah, that's really everything there is to it. We've gotten a bit less stable loot, a bit more lucky loot. However, as a conclusion to this, while I think there's definitely potential in this, you need to run this with a very, very strict filter, and you need to run this very quickly. I spent a lot of time in maps, first rushing the boss, then getting all the altars, then doing the league mechanics, and then finally the looting. I spent 7 to 10 minutes per map, compared to 6 minutes including looting, or 5 minutes including looting if I just run them without Magic Find. There's a lot of time increase per map basis, so the additional profit has to be worth it, or the profit per hour is just not increasing. You're taking more profit per map, but it's just harder maps, longer maps, and for just I guess a bit better loot. So with this, I think this is really now going to personal preference. If you enjoy magic finding, this is a great strategy. If you like the maps, if you like the looting, if you like the unique drops, if you like the chance of getting Headhunter, Mageblood, definitely go for this. It's a lot of fun for you in that case. However, for me, it wasn't that much fun. I was dying a lot. I was having sometimes ping issues that also with this led to deaths. And just overall, not that much fun with Magic Find as the previous iteration or with the Caustic Arrow last league. But all that being said, this really, like I said, comes down to what you enjoy and what you like, so I'm going to leave the trees in the description. And if I forgot anything, of course, you can ask me in the comment section on Discord, or on Discord over PM, in-game if I'm online, or on Twitch when I'm streaming. Any questions, anything, if I forgot anything, if anything's unclear, feel free to ask me, and I will try to answer as quickly as possible, of course. And all that being said, have a wonderful day, and I see you in the next video.